connection with the 10 operational vehicles donated by Governor of Rivers State, Sir Simenalai Fubara. Speaking on behalf of the state commandants, Joe Shine Okafor at the command's headquarters in Port Harcourt, the command spokesperson Superintendent Olufemi Ayodele said in tandem with the usual transition of service commanders, paying coursive calls to the chief security officers of the state, the new state commandant did same upon assumption of office and tendered his achievements and the challenges faced by the command. However, the command got flabbergasted by various unfounded and denigrating news currently circulating on the social media, arrogantly that the donation of operational vehicles as gratification and compensation for the participating in the just concluded local government elections. To set the record straight, Commandant Jachin Okafor was recently deployed as a 15th substantive River State Commandant by the NSCDC Commandant General Dr. Ahmed Abubakar Hodi Amin, OFR Diligence Service. Based on his pre-degree of diligence service and track record of numerous excellence achievements as head of anti-vandal squad in Kano State, River State, and commandant of Niger State, where the command under his watch got the donation of 20 operational vehicles from the Niger State governor. The River State Command is hereby stating unequivocally that the vehicles were not donated for election, neither were they compensated for participating in the local government election, but to enhance the command's land operational patrol like every other security agencies. He said the NSCDC remains neutral or political and non-partisans in matters of election, but sincerely committed to actualizing its core mandate by combating vandalisms of public utilities and swift response to rescue victims during emergency. Analysts believes in having relative agreement in these agreements. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Open Conversation, political analyst Nze Onze believes that parties should give room for different perspectives, adding that the claims by the LP chairmanship candidate Prince Chioma Chinwo on democratic conduct during the exercise was not out of place.
From our perspective, the way I see things may be different from the way you see it, and if we must stand on the truth, we should allow relative agreement within our differences. And this coming from the Labour Party chairmanship candidate of Faga, it's not something different from what we've been seeing. Although we monitored that election that day, and we saw from different polling units, different local governments, different wards, people were voting and all that. So the claims of Chioma Chinwo is not out of place, and
meanwhile, analyst Ojo Jackson believes that it is a norm in the political sphere of Nigeria where corruption rules for the ruling party to win all the LP positions.
Been living in the country, maybe you just returned from the Great Britain or from America, where things are done properly, things are done normally. You understand? He may not understand the norm of our political electioneering system in Nigeria. The norm, because it's lawlessness, and they are turning it to become the norm. It is now a normal thing, which is not strange or new or surprise to many of us in this country. That same day, election was held in about 3 states. I think Benue State, Akwa Ibom State. Benue State, the ruling party there clear all, and in Plateau State too, the ruling party there clear all the councillorship and all
the chairmanship positions.
Yes, but
Chairmanship candidates of the Labour Party in the just concluded October 5, 2024 local government election in the Port Harcourt City local government area of Rivers State, Prince Joma Chionwo has alleged undemocratic conduct during the exercise. Divisional Police Officer of Agbaro Police Station in Ughelli North local government area of Delta State was ambushed and killed on Sunday night. Delta Police Command confirmed the incident to newsmen on Monday. Spokesman of the command, SP Bright Dafe, said it is confirmed the DPO Agbaro was killed and the Ororokpe DPO was injured. It was an ambush. The DPO was said to have resumed at the station just a few days ago. According to sources, the DPO with his Ororokpe counterpart, CSP Paul, and their men were ambushed around 1 a.m. at Owodo Bokbo, the rail station axis of the town, while on their way for an operation. It was learned that Ororokpe DPO was rushed to an undisclosed hospital in critical condition. Gunmen suspected to be armed robbers shot and injured a 22-year-old man, Goodluck Joe, in Mosoga community, Ethiopia West local government area of Delta State. It was reported that the incident occurred while the victim was on his way home when the gunmen accosted, shot and seriously injured him along Otubo Church Road, Mosoga. The attackers also stole his mobile phone and left him in a pool of his blood. Goodluck was rushed to the Delta State University Teaching Hospital, Ogara. Medical scan revealed that he was suffering from internal bleeding. The victim is currently fighting for his life. At the time of filling this report, the victim's relative, identified as Voltage Bagbano, expressed gratitude to everyone for their support and prayers during this difficult time. He also appealed to the public for financial assistance to help cover the victim's substantial medical bills. The Delta State Police Public Relations Officer SP Bryce Defe has yet to respond to confirm the incident. Residents of Okong Estate in Ifatai Toy area of Uyo, the capital of Akwa Ibom State, are counting their losses after armed robbers made off with millions of naira in cash and other valuables. The assassins reportedly invaded the estate around 2 a.m. on Monday, conducting house-to-house attack and left many residents injured. Among the injured were a married woman, Basi, and the night guide identified only as Victor, who suffered bullet wound and machete cut to his head. Respectively, other injured residents were taken to the hospital for treatment. Dr. Nsima Andy, chairman of the Landlords Association, stated that the robbers attacked at 2 a.m. and confirmed that the incident has been reported to the Shelter Africa police station. He added that the stolen items, including laptop, undisclosed amount of cash, mobile phones, and iPad. The police public relations officer, ASP Tim Fon John, denies that the police did not respond to distress calls. She said the police had increased patrol of the area by posting more men to some black spots, adding that the command was doing everything possible to ensure safety for all. Edo State chapter of the People's Democratic Party says it has filed a petition at the tribunal challenging the conduct of the last September 21, 2094 governorship in the state. State chairman of the party, Dr. Anthony Azigbemi, disclosed this at the press conference in Benin City. Azigbemi said the petition filed by the party's governorship candidate Asua Igodalo was against all alleged owed by the All Progressives Congress in convenience with the Independent National Electoral Commission to deny the party to have access and inspect all the electoral materials used for the election. He alleged that APC and INEC prevented them from inspecting the electoral materials despite the tribunal's orders to grant its leave to inspect the materials. He, however, alleged that the party's intelligence unit has uncovered plans by the APC to burn INEC office, noting that they are alerting the security agencies of the plan. He also alleged that in spite of INEC's feeble attempt to deny the party's full complement of its request for clarified true copy of all electoral materials being the suspected political wing of the APC, they are still able to do the needful by failing the petition at the tribunal. Less than 1 month before the end of his administration, members of the Edo State House of Assembly has confirmed Governor Godwin Obaseki's nominees for the State Civil Service Commission. The House confirmed the 5 members nominees at the plenary section. The nominees were read at the House plenary on October 2, 2024 by the Speaker of the House, Blessing Agbebako. Recalled that Governor Godwin Obaseki-led administration will end on November 12, 2024, and a new administration to be led by Senator Monday Okboholo, a member of the All Progressives Congress APC, would be sworn in as a new governor of the state. The confirmed nominees are Igodala Lala Ali as chairman, A. Obaseki, Gilbert Adegboyega, Jolie Olatunji, and Margaret Ohiwele as members respectively. Meanwhile, the House has passed a bill for a law to establish a Edo State Digital Governance and Data Management Agency. Newly elected president of the Edo State chapter of the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees, Comrade Clifford Daudu, has threatened an industrial action in the 18th local government areas of the state if by the end of October the salary arrears and statutory deductions of workers were not paid. To avoid this, he called on all local government chairmen in the state to immediately pay salary arrears and the unmerited statutory deductions to their workers without further delay. Daudu, who stated this in an interaction with journalists in Benin City, said where he said local government council workers in Edo State are owed salaries spanning from 2017 to 2023, a situation he said has caused undue hardship for the workers. He also berated the council's management for the unmerited statutory deductions from the workers' salaries, which he said was in several millions of naira, according to the Comrade Daudu. The Noge wrote a series of letters to the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, the umbrella association of all the chairmen, which culminated in this meeting between the two associations, and he said it was agreed that they would start to derail both the salaries and deductions arrears from June 2024, but as October 2024, the councils are yet to honor their words despite several reminders from the union. He warned that the union would not hesitate to mobilize its members for a total shutdown of the councils by the end of October if our demands for the payment are not met. Inter-Party Advisory Council has condemned the police assault on the Young Progressive Party councillorship candidate for Otala Ward 1, Neiwi North LGA, Okonkwo Onyemaobi Kenneth. During the recent Anambra State local government election, IPAC described the unprovoked attack on the lawmakers, including the use of tear gas to subdue him. An outraged, barbaric, and unspeakable, IPAC said it's in a statement signed by the Chinyere Kalu, National Publicity Secretary, said it is more pathetic as the candidate is living with disability and was in a polling unit to exercise his franchise. The statement said IPAC will take up this matter to ensure justice is served. Council has been in the vanguard for free, fair, credible, transparent, inclusive and peaceful elections. Stakeholders in the electoral process would demonstrate patriotism and respect the mandates of the people, adding that this is the only way we will deepen and consolidate with the nation's emergency management, democracy rather. Two-story buildings has collapsed on Asusu Street in Orie Igamu area of Lagos State. The building collapsed when people were about to start their businesses activities for the day, and it could not be ascertained the number of people in the building when it collapsed. However, a statement by the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency response team said no casualties were recorded during the incident. Lagos High Court in Ikeja has scheduled December 10, 2024 for judgment in a 1.6 billion naira fundamental human rights enforcement suit filed by Mr. Stephen Amos and his wife Doris against the Lagos State government and any order over the disappearance of their mentally challenged son, Kingsley Amos, 14 years ago. The lawsuit names the Lagos State government, the Attorney General of Lagos State, the Lagos State Ministry of Youth and Social Development, the Commissioner of Police, Lagos State, the Inspector General of Police as respondents. The applicants are Mr. Stephen Amos, his wife Doris, and their missing son Kingsley. Justice L.A.F. Oluyemi fixed the adjournment date following the respondents' failure to defend the matter since it was filed and served. The suit sent to arrest, detention, and possible death of Kingsley Amos, who disappeared after being taken into custody by Lagos State agents in 2010. The Amos family, represented by their counsel Eze Alala, urged the Kingsleys, who was undergoing treatment for mental illness, was taken without their knowledge during a raid in the Lagos State authorities in the Ojodo area. He was later found at the Majidon Rehabilitation Center, but on April 14, 2010, officials informed the family that Kingsley, along with others, has been transferred to an undisclosed location. Kingsley has not been seen. The Amos family has expressed their frustration with the lack of transparency and accountability from the Lagos State government and police, stating that the incident has been subjecting them to years of anguish. Independent National Electoral Commission said eligible voters start collecting their permanent voters' cards from Thursday. INEC National Commissioner and Chairman of the Information and Voters Education Committee, Sam Olumekun, disclosed this in a statement in Abuja. According to him, a total of 89,777 new PVCs from the recent CVR were printed. This made up of 8,708 new voters and 31,609 applicants for transfer, update, and replacement of lost and damaged PVCs. During the period, the backlash of collected PVCs from previous registration will also be at the designated centers. The Commission reiterated its policy that no cards will be collected by proxy. Secretary to the Ogun State for Ijebu, the local government, and the member of National Union of Road Transport Workers, Babatunde Aremo. Aremo was said to have been picked up by the operatives of the Department of the State Service on Sunday in Ijebu on alleged account of planning to stage a protest today over the crisis rocking the NURTW in the state. A video circulating on Monday showed some people suspected to be security personnel in two unmarked white Hilux vehicles shooting apparently to scare people away. Talabi, however, in a statement signed by him, said he knew nothing about the incident and urged the security agencies to ensure transparency in their investigation and provide clear explanation for the circumstances surrounding Aremo's arrest. No fewer than 6 persons died and several injured in an accident involving a trailer conveying ties and a lorry loaded with soft drinks at Eke Ole Moloko along Karen Road, Ibadan. Among the injured was a people whose mother reportedly died in the crash. 4 of the injured were also conveyed to the Amoloko City Hospital nearby, included 2 primary school children treated as out parents, while 2 were severely injured have been admitted for proper treatment. The dead were conveyed to the hospital that was not yet ascertained. A staff of the Oyo Road Transport Maintenance Agency who spoke on the condition of anonymity at the scene said the accident occurred in the early hour of today. It was caused by the brake failure of the trailer that was descending the slope of the road. The accident caused by serious gridlock with passengers are striking. Many parked their vehicles by the roadside pending operatives who clear the vehicles. When contacted, the commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps Commissioner Oyo Command, Mrs. Rosemary, also affirmed the accident but said they would officially confirm when the man briefed her appropriately. Kogi State government is calling on the federal government and international donor agencies to come to the aid of the state following the flooding which sacked over 200 communities. Addressing newsmen at Koteng Cafe, Kogi local government, the State Commissioner for Information and Communication, Kingsley Fanwo, said a major humanitarian crisis is blowing in the state and over 2 million people are currently homeless. He said the national agency cannot afford to wait and is already overwhelmed, adding that the state government set up a flood disaster response teams under the leadership of the deputy governor of the state, assuring the victims of the government's support. In the face of the natural disaster, Kogi, Lokoja, Adaviofe, Ojotuka, Ida, Ibaje are some of the affected local government areas. Minister of Tourism Lola Adejon has said that her ministry is collaborating with the Ministry of Education to include history and tourism into the primary school curriculum. The minister is insisting that insecurity benefiting the countries has greatly affected the tourism sector of the country, which is stressed that should be Nigeria's #1 revenue generator, surpassing oil and gas. The minister stated this when paying a courtesy visit to Taraba State Deputy Governor Aminu Alakai. The minister's visit is to explore collaboration between the state and the federal government and investors. The visit is also aimed at harnessing the tourism potential in Taraba, investment opportunities in restored and leveraging domestic tourism for communities empowerment. Earlier in his remark, the State Commissioner for Heritage and Tourism, Joseph Nagombe, expressed that the minister is doing everything possible to right the wrong of the sector. Federal High Court sitting in Kano State has sentenced 33-year-old Nasiru Issa to 7 years in a correctional center for sexually exploiting an 11-year-old girl. The presiding judge H.M. Shuaibu convicted Issa, who resides in Damanawa, Bayan, Gideon Kolo of Tarani local government area of the state on a 1-count charge of sexual exploitation. Shuaibu summary tried and sentenced the defendant after he pleaded guilty to the charge. He held that prosecution counsel Abdullahi Babale proved his case beyond reasonable doubt and consequently sentenced the defendant to 7 years without an opinion or fine. According to him, the convict is to pay an additional 1 million naira fine as compensation. Earlier, the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, Kano State Command, alleged that the defendant committed the offense at Damanawa Quarters, Taroni, LGA, Kano State on October 5. Department of State Service has released 2 bad governance protesters who have been in detention in Kaduna. At press time, there are no fewer than 125 protesters still in detention, including 38 remanded by Justice Emeka Wati in Abuja. ATN gathered that 38 detained protesters would appear before Justice Wati for further hearing on their bails. The 125 detained protesters have been in custody for over 62 days. Meanwhile, Mr. Deji Adeyanju counseled to the protesters in an exclusive chat with Vanguard. Reporters yesterday expressed concern over the lack of transparency in the judicial process. According to Adewanju, authorities claim to have filed charges, but our team has yet to receive any document. He stated that the development highlighted the inconsistency in the handling of protest-related cases nationwide, though most of the 873 protesters arrested in Kano have been released due to collaborative effort by the Nigerian Bar Association. Rival group has killed Ibrahim Daji, a notorious bandit leader in Kwana Nasa, Kwauzwa local government area of Zamfara State. Zagozola Makama, a publication that focuses on counter-insurgency in the Lake Chad region, reported that Daji was killed on Sunday by members of the rival factions. His body was reportedly left at the scene. Daji was widely known for his involvement in various criminal activities, including leading violence attack along the Kwatan-Kwashi-Mada Road and surrounding areas. Its household was in Shangao village located to the east of the Mada town. The bandit kingpin was also infamous for reporting purchasing kidnapping victims within Kwoshu, a practice that strengthened his influence over the region's criminal networks. In addition to his attack, he was said to have provided refuge to other criminals such as Bello Tagoje in the Shangao village to command significance following a major breakthrough in the fight against banditry in Zamfara State. He was regarded as a key figure in the region's network of armed criminals. Zamfara State Independent Electoral Commission has fixed November 16, 2024 for the local government election in the state. The new chairman of the commission, Bala Liya Gwoshu, who was earlier today sworn in by the state's chief judge, Justice Kalu Aliyu, represented by Mokhtar Yushua of the Zamfara State High Court at the council chamber of the government house. Gwoshu announced this while addressing journalists on the preparation ahead of the conduct of the council poll. Closed that the cell and the trace farm would commence on 25th October 2024 to 1st November 2024. The chairman said the commission is acting in line with the law number 4 of the Zamfara State Independent Electoral Commission, and it would keep the public posted on any other developments regarding the local council poll. You're watching Transition on Atlantic Television Network. We return after this short break. Welcome back. This is a transition on Atlantic Television Network, and now the rest of our stories. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has asked the Methodist Church in Nigeria to remain steadfast in prayers for their communities, the nation and her leaders, saying that their prayers remain a source of strength and guidance. President Tinubu said this during the 40th anniversary celebration church service of the Abuja Archdiocese of the Methodist Church held at the Methodist Cathedral of Unity Wuse 5 on Sunday. Represented by the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, the President urged Nigerians to remain steadfast in their commitment to prayers, not just for their communities, but for our beloved Nigeria and its leaders. The President also called on the church to continue its work of service, outreach, and mission of compassion to work hand in hand with the government following the tenets of the Renewed Hope agenda to help create a Nigeria that will meet the collective aspiration of a citizenry. According to President Tinubu, the challenges confronting Nigerians today require a united front. He also commended the Methodist Church for their contribution to nations building over the years through social justice, education, and humanitarian outreach. Federal government has assured Nigerians of better days ahead as it enacts policies aimed at revamping the nation's economy. After coming to power last year, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu brought in reform bill as a way to revive the economic and attract foreign investment. However, Nigerians have seen fuel price soar and inflation hit a 3-decade high since Tinubu ended a fuel subsidy and flaunted the naira currency. Speaking on the 30th anniversary of the Nigerian Economic Summit in Abuja, the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Atiku Daudu, assured Nigerians that despite the hardship in the land, there would be a light at the end of the tunnel. According to the Minister, Nigerian external trade balance improved slightly in Q2 of 2024. This shows the efficiency of the reform of the current administration. Daudu expressed confidence at the state of the nation's economy, explaining that it is facing right direction with decline in inflation among other economic diocese. He explained that the summit's theme, Collaborative Action for Growth, Competitiveness and Stability, reflects the crucial imperatives required to sustain the nation's economic growth and development. Presidency has directed the head of service of the Federation, DD Esther Wilson Jack, and head of ministries, departments, and agencies to comply with Senate invitations, emphasizing the importance of collaboration between government bodies and the National Assembly. Addressing journalists in Abuja on Monday, Senator Bashir Ladu, Special Advisor to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Senate matters, criticized some agencies for failing to respond to Senate summon. Lado stressed that the agency engaging with Senate committees is crucial for demonstrating public service dedication and reinforcing confidence in the government. According to Senator Lada, honoring state invitation aligned with both constitutional obligations and President Tinubu's vision of responsive, accountable, and effective government. He noted that his directive supports Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda aimed at delivering rapid and transformative governance to Nigerians. The presidency call came a day after the Senate announced its decision to issue warrants of arrest for certain agencies ahead, including Mrs. Wilson Jack, Work Minister David Umai, and NITCOM Chairman Abike Abiri Erewa for repeating failing to appear before the Senate Committee on Ethnic Privilege and Public Petitions. Analysts opine that when it comes to important rules and petitions that pertain to the African continent in organizations like the UN, Nigeria should be at the forefront. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Atlantic Blowout, a social political analyst Ekiye asked that Nigeria, as a major African country, be given a prerogative in organizations that influence the policy makings of the African continent.
But I think for a country like Nigeria, which supposedly is a major country, because well, I don't hear people say the giant of Africa anymore because of so many things going on. So I don't want to use that word for now. That's supposed to be a major stakeholder in the United Nations when it has to do with human rights. Your population is high. So many countries in Africa tend to look towards Nigeria before. I don't know whether now anymore. But if that is the case, I think if it is 2, 3, 4, 5 seats, Nigeria, who is a major country in the continent of Africa, I think should be given a very prerogative space to say, okay, at least if it is 3 or 4 positions for Africa, Nigeria should always have one, because it's a strength of Africa, it's a major voice for the African nations. But
on the other hand, the analyst believes that if Nigeria is denying the opportunity, other African countries should be given the opportunity, adding that it will help strengthen relationships within the continent.
So if Nigerians feel that they do not have a reason, but their reason is that they want to strengthen the regions in Africa, so that other countries will not feel that Nigeria is always monopolizing, is always dominating. So I'm sure there have been a kind of a negotiation among the leaders within the countries of Africa. So if we didn't get it now, maybe some.
This comes as the presidency slammed naysayers who alleged that Nigerian lost out in the recent United Nations Human Rights Council elections. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, has called for the implementation of the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act 2018 by ministries, departments and agencies MDS who, according to Honorable Abbas, have overwhelmingly refused to align towards implementation of the act. Speaker, who was represented by the House Majority Leader Honorable Julius Ihunbere at the investigative hearing over non-implementation of PWD's Act to MDA's complaint that not even 5% of the Persons with Disabilities Act is implemented, and that when the Act undergoes amendment, 1 year sentence should be enforced for non-compliance.
Many other little details.
We all know that the National Assembly passed the bill on the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act 2018 and was assented to by President Muhammadu Buhari. This means that the law is actually already in force. The Act protects the rights and welfare of persons with disabilities as enunciated in Part 5, which provides for the liberty, right to education, health, and first consideration in queues, accommodation, and in emergencies. Yet, MDAs are yet to implement the Act, even at this moment that we speak. But if this is allowed to continue, it will cause severe damage to our socio-economic development and further impair our thinking as a people without understanding and the will to do the right thing.
Chairman of the House Committee on Disability Matter, Honorable Bashiru Dawoda, said the inquiry will look into ensuring the PWDs have access to employment in MDA's inclusion in policies, access to public buildings, and inclusion of sign language in media houses.
There has been very low level of compliance with regards to the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act of 2018 across all sectors. Both the public and the private sectors have been found wanting so far. The National Commission for Persons with Disabilities has developed a national accessibility regulations, but it has not been effectively disseminated to relevant MDAs and stakeholders. This is probably responsible for the seemingly poor physical and digital accessibility for persons living with disabilities. Most of the MDAs lack the requisite technical capacity to mainstream disability in their work. On the other hand, the National Commission for People Living with Disabilities is yet to develop a sector-based training models to support MDAs across diverse sectors. The Federal Ministry of Information, National Orientation Agency, and the National Commission for People Living with Disabilities are yet to put in place a robust all-year-round public awareness program to drive a national campaign against discrimination of people living with disabilities. We must ensure enforcement of the law to protect the rights of the persons with disability. Improve access to education, opportunities for persons with disabilities through scholarship, bursaries, grants, and other provisions that will encourage the enrollment of people living with disabilities in the school system.
Honorable Bashiru Dawada, Disabilities Matters Chairman, Executive Secretary, National Commission for Persons with Disability, Ayuba Mostayang, while expressing concern over the total disregard and nonchalant attitude towards PWD's welfare, opposed that amended to the Persons with Disabilities Act 2018 should capture the over 35.5 million PWDs in Nigeria, as well as other benefits to ensure that PWDs receive training, get MSMEs grants, access to education, among others. Federal government says it has approved the use of restorative justice system in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. It said the new justice system would focus on addressing the plight of victims of crime instead of merely punishing the offenders. Director of Public Prosecution of the Federation, Mohammed Abubakar, in a keynote address he presented at the opening session of the one-day workshop for the facilitators on the implementation of restorative justice in the FCT, said the system would help to decongest the prison. According to him, the system, which is an interactive to the formal court procedures, is a paradigm shift that would not only ensure speedy resolution of cases, but also enhance the process of repaired solutions and reintegrations. In his remark, representatives of traditional rulers in the FCT, the etus of Wali, HRH, Luka Ayodo, while commending FG for the initiative, stressed that it will be applicable across the federation. He bemoaned the facts that most correctional centers in the countries were overcrowded, saying for restorative justice system to achieve its purpose, traditional rulers and head of communities must be carried along. On their part, the Director Administration of Criminal Justice and Reform Department's Federal Ministry of Justice, Mrs. Leticia Ayola Daniels, said the new system, which she described as the progressive reforms, offered an inclusive approach that seeks to hear rather than simply punish. People's Democratic Party has provided more insight into the crisis rocking the main opposition political parties. PDP has been divided into two factions and suspensions and counter-suspensions of the officials in the recent days, making the headlines. In a press briefing by the PDP Acting National Publicity Secretary Ibrahim Abdullahi Manga in Abuja, the party called for caution among members of the National Working Committee. Speaking on the ongoing imbroglio, Manga frowned at the out of VIT operations amongst the party corporate existence, saying it is nothing but condemnable. He explained that the reason for NWC's decision to temporarily suspend the National Publicity Secretary Deido Oguluba Nagba and the National Legal Advisor Kamaladen Ajibade was to allow the four-man NWC Investigation Committee set up under the chairmanship of the Deputy National Chairman H.E. Ambassador Tofik Arapaja to freely investigate their allegations of abuse of office and insubordination leveled against the DOE. He called for restraint in the interest of the party, saying it is a major opposition party in Nigeria and the hope of Nigerians for a better tomorrow in view of the APC strangulating in-depth and clueless governments nationwide. Federal government has summoned the Libyan charge of affairs in Abuja over the alleged mistreatment of the Super Eagles players and officials during their stay in Libya for AFCON qualifiers. Minister of Foreign Affairs Yusuf Tuga disclosed this to journalists after a meeting with Vice President Kashim Shettima at the presidential villa in Abuja. Tuga described the situation in Libya as unfortunate, adding that Nigerian officials from the country's mission in Libya have been dispatched to engage with the Super Eagles delegations to address the matter. Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 general election, Peter Obi, has lamented the persistent incidents of killings, kidnappings and over-violence crimes across the country. In a post via his ex-handle, Obi lamented the killings of some crew members of Super Sport TV as well as the policemen who were attacked in the tragic ambush along the Hihala-Ora Road, Anambra State, a few days ago. The disease were traveling to cover the Super Eagles 2025 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON qualify against Libya. The former Anambra State governor who said that the situation has continued unbated and is worsened by the day, stressed that non-state actors have continued to inflict pain and sorrows on families whose loved ones are often kidnapped and sometimes killed in a gruesome manners. Director General of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, has dismissed the claim made by aggrieved workers as the basis for their industrial action, describing them as untrue. She emphasized that while the management has been attentive to the workers' welfare, it is limited by its mandate in the matters such as promotion and uncertain remuneration. In a statement by the agency's resident media consultant, Sayo Akintola, the DG, however, reiterated their commitment to the workers' welfare as at the time of filing this report, the workers have not called off the one-week-old industrial actions as their demand remain unmet. Though it was gathered that the negotiations to end the strike are ongoing, the workers are protesting the agency's failure to promote the significant number of staff who participated in the 2024 promotion interviews. According to the aggrieved workers, despite many of them meeting or surpassing the required pass mark, NAFDAC management cited a lack of vacancies, leaving more than 50 eligible employees without the promotions they had earned. And now to business reports. Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria is poised to talk with Dangote's petroleum refinery between Tuesday and Wednesday to finalize agreement on the cost and lifting of petrol from the plant. It was learned that the Petroleum Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria has been asked by the $20 billion Lekki-based refinery to rescind its request for petrol lifting. This came as as Petron expressed optimism that the cost of petrol might reduce in the coming days once the competition in the downstream oil sector set is fully, as marketers lead to commodity from the refinery. Meanwhile, IPMAN described the plan's agreement with the Dangote refinery as a crucial step in the association's ongoing effort to facilitate the lifting of petroleum products, hereby contributing to the stability and efficiency of the country's fuel supply chain. Last week, the federal government granted permission to petroleum marketers to lift petrol directly from the Dangote's refinery without going through the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. The Minister of Finance and Chairman of the Naira Crude Cell Implementation Committee, Wale Edun, had in a statement said moving forward, petroleum product marketers are now able to purchase PMS directly from local refineries without intermediary roles of NNPC. Providing an update to the National Publicity Secretary of the IPMAN, Chinedu Okadike, said the association hoped to meet with officials of the Dangote's refinery for discussion as it is ready to commence a healthy business relationship with the refinery. And that's the size of the package. Thanks for joining us. I am Immaculata Irikana. Join us on Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X Atlantic TV Net. Also watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Good morning.